We're back after a lovely, restful week off. It's my fault. I was in Menorca sunning myself. I'm still as white as a sheep, but it's okay. I bought my best Greek tunic for this episode. We're going to be talking about the Odyssey. But before all that, our classic cold open. And I thought today I'd discuss about the time yesterday morning where I got stopped at Menorcan border control. Okay. Horrible. So I had my podcast mic thinking, you know, I've got the work ethic of an idiot. So I thought, I'll do a podcast in the middle of this Menorcan villa where the Wi-Fi was awful. I'll do it by the pool in no clothes. It'll be fine. And Alfie shot down the idea. So listeners, you've all lost out there. But it's okay. We're back. And I thankfully have got my microphone with me. But there was a moment where after going through the X-ray machine, there's no like rule of thumb about what you take out of your bag. Sometimes you take your laptop out, sometimes you don't. And last minute they're like, take your laptop out. So I quickly did that, not thinking that in my main bag I had this, which is not the most conspicuous thing, or inconspicuous thing rather.
It's not sharp, so you're fine.
It's quite big. I didn't realise it was so large.
It's quite, yeah, it is large. And my mum thinks it looks like a huge toy, should we say. So when they saw this shape in my luggage, and they saw that it was just basically inside a bunch of wiring and copper, they were like, oh, this looks weird, I'm not quite sure what this is, maybe it's a bomb. So they then stopped me and I began like this whole queue of people waiting behind me, and I was like, oh no, this is like, I know exactly what this is going to be. Like, please don't assume what this is.
And everyone's staring at you, I take it.
Yeah, oh yeah. Like, I could feel the glares in the back of my head. And they took it out, and they're like, so, what is this? I'm like, oh, it's a microphone. And they sort of looked at me like...
Not our first day on the job, mate, come on.
Yeah. A microphone, they then said. I'm like, yeah, I think that's what I just said, yeah. And she held it up to her face, kind of like put her ear to it, and then said, do you sing? Are you a musician?
Oh, wow.
And I said, oh yeah. I don't want to overcomplicate this.
Hello and welcome to episode 110 of Movie On Up with your host, me, Alfie Walker.
And me, Adam Barlow.
And today we also have...
Sam Clark, and I've obviously been on the show once in the past, but I'm great, like, happy to be back on. Thank you guys very much for having me back on, and it's all things Nolan this episode, and that's what a great kind of way to just jump in. It's like, let's talk all things Nolan. Anyone would jump at that. So yeah, thanks for having me back on. I'm looking forward to it.
No worries, it's good. It's good. Last time you were on, we did talk about Nolan a little bit, if I remember right, because we were just speaking in general about good films, and obviously he's always going to come up. And yeah, as Sam said, we are obviously going to be talking about the Odyssey, the brand new mega film from him, an absolute monumental piece of cinema. So it's exciting to talk about it. How was your holiday, Adam?
It was really nice, yeah, apart from the moment I almost got like deported or arrested and all manner of things. But yeah, lovely. Menorca compared to Mallorca, where I went last year, is very sort of calming, quite rural. There's not a lot there beyond beach and restaurants.
Sounds like
sounds awful. That sounds terrible.
Yeah,
my lobster too juicy, my steak too buttery. That thing. Like.
Well, I quite like doing activities when I'm abroad, which is weird because I don't often have too much energy in the heat. But if I'm going to get out of bed at all, I want to be doing something rather than like passing out at the beach. So I loved it. Don't get me wrong. But one day we did go to the local water park. Which on the sign, I didn't verify this, but it said it was Menorca's biggest water park. So like, okay. I had a look at the website. I was like, I'm suspicious about this, but okay. Went in and there was 4 slides.
Were they at least big slides? Yeah.
Not really. They weren't huge slides. No, they were fine. There was a couple of like Ringo ones, and then regular ones where you just go down like a pencil. I love any Ringo slides.
Yeah,
that's my guilty pleasure.
How often do you go down to Devon? You two?
You go more, right, Adam? You're quite close.
Yeah.
Because I remember going to a water park down there 10 years ago. I can't remember what it was called, but yeah, they had a pretty decent one, to be honest, down there. I was like, oh, hang on, this is pretty good stuff. There's like probably like a vertical drop one that everyone went on. So, to be honest, for a UK-based water park, it was pretty good.
Don't you have one right near you, Adam? Splashdown.
Yeah, Splashdown Tower Park. Yeah. It's quite good.
Is it
it's
right?
a little
that
bit.
Sounds familiar. That sounds familiar, that one, to be honest. I don't know why.
It's like a chain of water parks, and a lot of the stuff is like all seasonal because you can go there like in December if you wanted to, and they kind of like adjust. So we've got a kind of lazy river ride where it starts inside and there's rapids, and you go down into like 4 or 5 different areas, and then if the weather's good and it's like summer, you then go down this big ramp outside, and then there's a bit where people can splash you from the pool. You go around, then you go in a tunnel, and that takes you through, and there's water jets at the end that hit you. Then you go down another bit of rapids, and then you go back inside. It's brilliant.
God,
gives you your money worth, doesn't it?
Yeah. How did I go to uni for 3 years? How did I live in Bournemouth for 4 years and not go there once as a group? What the? That sounds great. Well,
you're gonna have to do a masters.
That's a day trip. Yeah, too. Just to do the water park. Yeah.
Now, midway through my shift today, I got a notification which made my heart skip a beat. It was, of course, the first Avengers Doomsday official trailer, not a teaser trailer, as I've seen some people call it. This is the trailer, so we can be critical of it, because everyone's like, "Oh, it's only a teaser, it's only a flavour of the film." No, we should get at least something from this trailer. And I don't know about you guys, but I felt nothing.
3 for 3 here, I think. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite frankly, I was like, okay, I'm going into it open. I was never exactly pumped for it, but open ears and eyes, and clicked on it, and I just sort of had no reaction for the full 2 minutes. Just don't get me wrong, X-Men, that gets me excited because I used to watch them. I'm old enough to have watched them when they sort of came out, which you definitely aren't, Adam. Did you watch the X-Men films, Sam, or not?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay. Cool, right.
Yeah. I mean, a certain film we'll talk about later on. I'm going to give away my thoughts on it just briefly now. It's taken the wind out of the sails for a lot of other films this year. I just look at most of the stuff this year and I think, compared to what we've just seen, everything else is just looking underwhelming as hell. And it's like, this certain film we're going to talk about today is like, it's so grand that everything else, I'm just like, why do I feel nothing about it? And I mean, the Infinity War trailer is one of the best in history. And so everyone's thinking, can this trailer double that? Not even close, to be honest. So,
That's so true. Yeah, absolutely.
It needed to as well. I mean, even if you look back at the Endgame trailer, people loved that. I remember rewatching that the second I saw it, and same with Infinity War. I was on a. I remember that so vividly when that dropped. I wasn't really a Marvel fan when Infinity War, when the trailer dropped back in like January 2018, maybe a bit earlier. But I remember I was on an Xbox call playing some video game with like 5 or 6 other mates, all of whom were Marvel fans, and they were like, they paused the game, they stopped it, they all left, and like we all stayed in the party, and they all like synced up and watched it together. I was like, oh, like, I may as well get in on this. Yeah, we all watched it synchronized together, and like they were screaming, like it was. We all turned American. It was insane.
The music was in the sound of it. It was like just the voiceover narration.
Yeah.
Oh wow, honestly. But I think they should have waited till Con to do it. Doing it on a Monday. Just wait till Comic-Con. It'd be the biggest in history, and they didn't do that. I'm like, that is not really what I wanted. But anyway, yeah.
You said, Adam, didn't you, off air? It looks sort of slightly AI, and you said about how you thought. Well, yeah. You say what you told me. You worded better.
So they obviously have shown this trailer to a select group of people before. I think maybe about a month ago, if not a little longer than that.
CinemaCon,
right. Was that it? And I believe, Sam, back me up. I think this is right. But people have taken this, have seen the trailer. Obviously, haven't been able to keep their mouths shut because it's just the general public. I don't know why you'd reveal this trailer early. they've then described the trailer or noted down the lines, and people have AI generated this hundreds of times. So
that's like advanced stuff. It's dangerous to do that. I think, to be honest.
Yeah, so
that's like a whole new level of.
I was watching it and I was like, why am I not surprised by anything here? Why am I even doubting that this is real? I had to triple check even that it was from Marvel Studios, and I was like, oh, I know, because I've seen this trailer before, and it was AI. And this, because I've already seen it, the exact like beat for beat, the line of dialogue, the visuals, the posing of the characters, it's been so well created by AI. I'm now like, well, I've already seen it.
Yeah,
like exactly. I got nothing new from this.
Just dangerous, isn't it? That's like scary that it's been generated to.
Like a description of a trailer being generated by AI. That's something new. Hey, look forward to the future then, eh? Shall we? Oh man, that's more to come on that, I think.
Yeah, it's a shame. It did nothing for me, and that's a shame because I quite enjoyed Fantastic Four, and I know you did, Adam. But trying to get me excited for a film that I just can't see it. I said earlier, didn't I, in the chat, like 37 films later, what are we, 20 TV shows deep? I don't know how you keep a general audience entertained. James Bond is the only other sort of franchise I can think of that has nearly that level of film. Watch James Bond, 25 films, and that's like one every 4 years now. I just don't know how you sustain public interest in it. But, I mean, we'll see. They brought Cat back, which had no payoff in that trailer at all. It was the weakest drop ever.
The screenshot is like them two together, and then the caption says, "Why do I feel nothing?"
Yeah.
And I agree. He's in like a kind of a bomber jacket in like a civilian clothing.
Yeah,
just
long hair.
There. It's like, oh.
I didn't even realise it was him. I honestly didn't. I was like, oh, it's Cap. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, we already know he's back from the teaser, so... Yeah, a piss poor trailer, in my opinion. Should we get on with it? Should we talk about the film of the moment? This is our review of Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey.
Time to talk about The Odyssey. Now, if I remember correctly, it's one of two major epics of ancient Greek literature attributed to Homer. And it's one of the oldest surviving works of literature and remains popular with modern audiences to this day. Like the Iliad, the Odyssey is divided into 24 books. This is just off the top of my head. It was written by Homer, of course, who is kind of just a name attributed to someone who hasn't really been historically noted down. But the Odyssey follows Odysseus, played in this film by Matt Damon, and it's directed by Christopher Nolan. I'm sure you're aware. It stars Zendaya, Tom Holland, Anne Hathaway, Travis Scott, Elliot Page, Robert Pattinson, Charlize Theron, Benny Safdie, and many more. What a piece of cinema. The hype for this was insane. And I really, truly thought I'd watch it and be like, oh, I like it, but I'd been really inhibited by the amount of pressure put on it. But no, it held up, and I fucking loved it.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. I think we're all going to have a similar opinion on this. So if you've come here for something controversial, you're in the wrong place. Yeah, go on, Sam. What was your opinion on initial thoughts?
Firstly, the time of recording this is very fortunate because the numbers are out, the finances are out, and it is 124 million opening weekend. That's just it's Nolan. I mean, the predictions beforehand would say it is going to be its biggest non-Batman opening of its career, and I could not see this opening huge. I mean, to me, this is the most breathtaking piece of cinema I've ever experienced. But in terms of practical filmmaking, this is going to set the benchmark for the next 100 years, 50, 100 years in terms of how to capture as much in camera. And we knew Nolan could do that before, but you look at this film and you go, how have you physically pulled that off? And I just sat there slack-jawed thinking the future is kind of here, but that angle's a bit more complicated. But just like, this is why we go to the cinema and the kind of escapism we just look for, and really is just like a benchmark for what's possible.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say any more than that. It's a feat, isn't it? How so much of it is caught on camera with practical elements, and obviously there's CG in it to enhance stuff. There's always going to be, and there's all that kind of thing. But just practicality of the boats and the battles and the scale. It's insane to. I hope we get a huge behind the scenes kind of thing for this, because the buildings they've built and the sets they've built. It's not on a soundstage, is it? It's an entire village. They built Troy. Like, it's just so ginormous, and the scale of things, the practical effects. The Cyclops is a phenomenal set piece, and that went on for far longer than I thought it would. And every moment of that, I was cheering that on.
Have you seen the behind the scenes puppet? That's kind of the image. That's kind of been well timed. I think that just sums everything up.
Yeah, it does. It's a feat, isn't it? I'm so glad it's really doing well, because there's always a worry, I think, with these films where they're so long and where he always has such a specific point of making a film, doesn't he? There's always a real targeted thing he wants to do. The previous one was like the creation of the atom bomb, which is obviously really relevant to everyone, but I think some people don't want to see that. And as much as we obviously love the Greek mythology, that kind of thing, I think potentially I was worried this would also alienate people. Some people just aren't bothered by it, aren't fussed. It's too confusing, too this, too that. But my screening was rammed, not a seat spare, and I'm sure yours were as well. It's just a feat in cinema, isn't it? Like Sam said, it's going to be the benchmark for how you make a film practically for the next 50, 100 years.
Yeah,
I agree. It deserves every success that's going to come its way. I think it's 264 million at cross, because it was over. I had in my head it was over a quarter of a billion.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Which is mad in 3 days. I mean,
yes, it's made up its budget already. So yeah.
Yeah, it's insane, and rightly so. I mean, should we go through it? Kind of. Maybe let's talk about the stuff that happens. We might touch on light spoilers here, but we don't want to ruin it for you. But let's just think.
Spoiling a ancient poem.
Ancient text.
Yeah. Well, you know what I mean.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's have a quick chat then about what happens back at Ithaca with that set of characters, with Tom Holland, with Anne Hathaway, all that cast. There's quite a lot going on. I thought that was going to be a little bit sleepy. Maybe that half of the story wouldn't hold up so well, but no, it absolutely kept me engaged, and I really liked whenever it jumped back to be like, okay, what are these guys up to? And it felt really relevant and important whenever it did that.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. It's Matt Damon's film, isn't it? I went into this thinking, actually, I wasn't sure if it was going to be sort of 50-50 split between Tom Holland and Matt Damon, but it isn't. Tom Holland is not in it as much as Matt Damon, but the story back on Ithaca is like you said, it's relevant, and I wasn't upset to stray away from the main storyline of Odysseus' journey. It was nice to go back there, and I know we'll touch on some of our gripes for sure, because there is a few that I've got, and I know one of Adam's, which I don't agree with. I really liked the Suitor plot line with Pattinson. I thought he added something, a little bit of levity, because the film is intensely sort of, it's heavy on plot and names and everything that's going on. It's incredibly convoluted and complex, and I can't imagine, I mean, Sam can vouch for this in a moment, but how they've shrunk down the actual text into a manageable material to film and cast and film. It's very impressive, and the plot back on Ithaca, was nice to keep going back there, and it kept it a little bit fresh. It wasn't sort of repetitive set pieces. Do you want to touch on that, Sam? You've read the book, right?
Yeah, so the crucial piece of information I've not yet mentioned is that I did read it before seeing it. And to be honest, reading the book prior to this, it's like this is a Chris Nolan book, in a sense, because when you're reading this and thinking, who would you trust to bring this to the big screen? I do think Christopher Nolan, because the way it does jump every angle, like that kind of thing. I mean, it is exactly how I imagined Christopher Nolan would do the Odyssey, because the book felt Nolan-esque, and then when he did the film, I was like, this is what I imagined he would do, which for me, it's not strayed away from the material, which is so key, so crucial, because if this strayed away from any kind of feeling of kind of typical Nolan, not the best, but this just feels Nolan through and through. And from reading the book, I was thinking, he's picked the perfect thing to adapt, because this is his style. The Odyssey is what he would do with a novel compared to the screen. So it's a perfect cinematic fit for who he is. And when it was announced that he'd be doing this, people thought, wow, Christopher Nolan, the Odyssey film is like a match made in heaven. And when you see it on screen and you see the story, it just is. It feels like just the perfect combination of what could have happened.
The only other filmmaker that I could ever imagine trying to attempt it, just in the way that there's so many elements and they're so non-chronological and they jump about, is almost like early 2000s Peter Jackson, in the same way that Lord of the Rings is such
that's just what I said on
ginormous
Spark.
thing. Really?
When I was on Spark doing this, I said to my kind of co-host, who else would I trust to do this like in modern day? And to be honest, I struggle to think of. I mean, Peter Jackson now comes to mind, but when I was doing my show, I was like, Christopher Nolan is the only person I would really trust to do this. I mean, there are a couple of others maybe, but he's at the top of the list.
It's just such a it's the scale of the project and how you piece it all together. Was there much cut out from the book? I don't know.
Actually, now that you say that, I mean, I saw this with my dad, and we'd both read the book, and he looked across at me and nudged me a handful of times during the film because of liberties that were taken.
Right.
Like Athena is quite absent, and I mean Zendaya and Charlize Theron I thought would have much meatier roles in this, and it was surprising for me just to see how to the side they were, and kind of how sidelined but still present, but sidelined they were. And there was a handful of times in which he was kind of nudging me a couple of times and that kind of thing, and looking across at me thinking, yeah, they've done this and they've done that, and I agreed with them, to be honest. And it's not a bad thing for me, but in terms of liberties he has taken, it's not the worst you can do, I think.
Yeah, I mean, with something that's 24 books, basically, I mean, as you say, there's only a select few alive today that would be able to faithfully adapt that. I mean, Denis Villeneuve, just because he's done Dune.
That's what I'm thinking as well.
Maybe, I don't think this would be a great fit, but maybe Lord and Miller. Like, I really rate those guys, and I think they did a fantastic job of Project Hail Mary. But again, it's and that jumps around
style of it, isn't it? Yeah.
Quite a bit. But I don't know how they would realistically have pulled it off. So I'm not surprised that there's a lot cut out. I do think Zendaya's character, who is Athena, right?
Yeah, I think so.
She just shows up every 40 minutes.
It's June. It's the first June all over again, isn't
it? She just kind of shakes her head, and that's it. Yeah.
And it's the first part of the first June film. She was like a vision every now and then, and it's sort of the same thing without wishing to give too much away here.
Yeah, in the same sort of ragged outfit as well. As she shows up. When she first showed up, I was like, oh wow, it's just her from Dune. Like,
yeah.
The bulk of the story, obviously, is the journey, and I think that's clearly the bit that everyone is raving about. I think each individual set piece is so meticulously crafted and made, and stands on its own like a tiny short film almost. Like you could cut this film down to just his journey, remove everything else, and I think it would still be a phenomenal sort of hour and a half, 90-minute film with just that. And obviously you wouldn't have any of the compassion and the back to it, so it would have no big impact at the end, especially. But just as those individual set pieces. So what have we got? The first is Cyclops, right? Is that the first?
Which came up? It came up quicker than I thought. I mean, I can't remember when it is in the book, but when it happened in the screening, my dad again turned to me. It was like eyes ablaze because, like, oh, we're into this now. This is a lot sooner than we thought, and my heart started going because it's the first set piece of the film, and as many people know, this is the one segment of the story of the film when everyone's like, "How's he going to do this? And what's he going to come across?" And when it started happening in the film, when they're walking up to the cave, the heart started beating for me. I was like, here we go. It's a lot sooner than I thought it would be. So, yeah. And it pulled it off again. So, yeah.
What I love about that scene is, while you've got like the silly, terrifying Cyclops, which is kind of like realistic, but also you almost don't believe that Nolan was going to even have a Cyclops in it. So I was relieved when he appeared in the trailer. I was like, okay, he is actually doing a mythical, magical story, which he hasn't. I mean, he does sci-fi, but he rarely will.
It's fantasy, isn't it? It is fantasy. It's not real, is it? It's the same as King Arthur and stuff like that in our world. It's their version of that.
Yeah, spot on. And one of the bits I really liked about that scene is actually the quieter tension of it all, because you don't really, I mean, as someone who hadn't read the book, I don't know how many of them are going to survive each trial and each island, right? So each time I was like, okay, how heavy the loss is going to be, and each time I was surprised by either how well they fared or how poorly they did. And I really liked it because it took the time to show how good a leader Odysseus was when they're about to break out, but then actually he's like, no, wait, if we do that, like, we're just going to be trapped in this cave. I'm like, there's real thought to these characters. Like, they feel like generals and they feel like people who are tactically brilliant. I mean, albeit in a scenario that is unmanageable. So I liked all those moments where you get a real idea of who Odysseus is and why people are following him at all, because you would think everyone would just be like, oh, screw this, like, everyone man for themselves, but actually they stick by him, at least for that part of the story.
I mean, there are liberties taken in the scene. Again, some kind of context. There's a lot of liberties in the scene. I mean, he talks in inverted commas. In the book, full-on conversation. I mean, it is full-on chatter. But, I mean, the tiny one, and I'll get into the bigger one in a moment, the tiny one is that they clung to the sheeps underneath the kind of whatever, like udders, I don't know what they're called. They clung to the underneath of the sheep, whereas in this, they use hay. And I said to my dad after the showing, the Cyclops would be able to tell between wool versus hay, because it's hard and pointy. So when I was watching, I was thinking, hang on, that's not the way they did it. It's not only not the way they did it in the book, but the Cyclops would be able to tell if he's touching sticky, like, kind of pointy stuff. But then when they do poke him in the eye, the rest of the other Cyclops on the land come not to his rescue, but they kind of say, "What's wrong? We heard your cry from way away." And basically Odysseus tricks him into thinking his name is Nobody. So when the Cyclops says to his other inhabitants on the island, "Nobody's attacking me, help me," they say, "Well, shut up then," and then they kind of go away. So it's kind of like his
I think that's so cool.
Yeah, and it's like the trickster element of Odysseus and the kind of mind games, because this guy's a veteran, he's a soldier, he's smart, and so he tricks the Cyclops into thinking who he is. I'm thinking it's basically like a silent scene compared to what could have been in the book. So I'm thinking that is quite a large chunk to take out, but I've heard no complaints so far. So
Yeah, gotcha. The sound design when he does get stabbed in the eye,
it's something.
Was
it's so loud,
incredible. I loved it. I genuinely had and I felt really like my chest was tight. I thought I was going to have like a panic attack. It was so awesome, but also like haunting and like what an experience. I mean, to see that in an IMAX or an iSense or whatever format, I mean, just in the cinema at all is such a privilege, I think.
It's a universally just spectacular thing, regardless of format. So
yeah, I think we're going to mention that a little bit later, to be honest, aren't we? Talk about Robotics briefly, but that was the first set piece. What's the second one? Is it the sort of giants? You might be able to explain what they actually are. That's the only one I sort of don't know how to explain, but just the giants in the suits of armor that kill them. Is that the second?
Yeah, they're kind of, from what I understand, they are cannibals, I think. And they're kind of like just barbaric, like, animals. And they instantly kind of, I mean, in the book, it's to be honest, the scene did a good translation, because in the book, it's just straight up description of slaughter. It's like in the book, it's just limbs. I mean, I think in the book, the description is they are being torn apart. There are decapitations, and there are just absolutely slaughtered by them. And in the film, I mean, another thing is that some people have said it shouldn't have been a 15 because it was quite. I mean, the Cyclops scene, obviously, but with the barbarians, it was violent. But I too was thinking this maybe is not that much of a 15, but in the book, it's full on just obliteration. Whereas in the film, it's basically similar. But yeah, they're basically kind of barbaric giants who are so dangerous. But I think the film did the job well enough, and obviously again you got like 7 feet people to be them, so it was something as well.
Yes, same again as well, isn't it? The scale of that. That's the most prominent image I've seen online of them comparing IMAX to normal, is the fact that on the screen, when they're on the screen, you see their full entire them, and then obviously on standard screen size, you're just seeing sort of a small chunk of them, and that's it's quite a convincing ad for IMAX. It really is, because it shows their scale a lot better. But yeah, it's a really good set piece. It's probably the only one that left me maybe more confused. I just didn't really know what was going on with it.
I mean, if you didn't read the book, you will be completely lost, because they do arrive here, think, we got to get off here now. I think that's why Nolan did it, is to represent the sheer danger, because yes, they encounter the Cyclops, but that's quite a slow scene. Whereas this is like, we need to be on here for 5 minutes before we need to get off. And so I think he did do it well in terms of discovering an unknown place. Let's discover how dangerous it is. Do we stay? And then within 30 seconds, you're like, no, get out of here right now. So in terms of the emergency evacuation element of it, it did do like well. And also in terms of the poster you just said there, in terms of Odysseus standing in front of the giant, I just saw an interview with Matt Damon saying that was his stunt double on the poster. It's like a kind of 5 feet woman who stood in for him. So the reason why that person looks so small is because it's literally a 5-foot person compared to a 7-foot person. So it's kind of forced perspective. I don't know what the term is, but yeah.
That's cool. That's very cool. Then we went on to, was it Cersei's Island? Was that
Must
the one?
be.
Yeah, which was the one that took me by surprise most of all. That's the only set piece here that I basically had never heard of. Like I said, I haven't read the book, and I just popular culture wise, I'd never even heard of this one. It was some good sort of body horror. It was a nice sort of element. Yeah, did you like that one, Adam?
I did like it. It's somewhat been spoiled for me on TikTok,
really? That's a shame.
But still very effective. And I hadn't seen all the scene by any means. So I was expecting body horror, which I think was actually probably a good thing for me, because otherwise I would have been like, oh no. I would have gone very cold very quickly. But I'm glad I was sort of mentally like, okay, I know where this is going. And yeah, it was great. I almost found it more unsettling when they were when there was the sort of outcome of that whole situation with the monologue from forgive me, let me check her name, Samantha Morton. Yeah, she was great. Very powerful performance there. I think I heard Nolan say that Nolan told me that it was the first time in a film where just everyone on set applauded her after that moment, and the last time that happened was with Heath Ledger. So I mean, there you go. Mad.
I think in terms of practicality, that and Cyclops were going to be the hardest for him to do, because it's like, you've done the Cyclops, now how do you do this part? I mean, in the book, it's from what I can remember, it's not that graphic. I mean, it's fairly light, but then again, you think, how are you going to do this? And this is it's probably the scene, instead of the Cyclops, that shows people Nolan can do horror. Yes, the Cyclops was deafening and loud and dark, but this is the real challenge of how on earth do you do this in camera? And people have looked at him and gone, I mean, he said for years he wants to do a horror film, and now people have come away from this scene thinking, get him on a horror project now. If he can do this, I mean, the scene, again, in terms of practical cinema, I looked at this and thought, really, how have you done that? And then it's not only the kind of it's like the what's the word? Not crushing of the skull, but the reconfiguration of the skulls, and then putting your hand down his throat. It's like the first time you've kind of done a kind of horror set piece and you've done it like this. Hats off to you, sir, because for someone who's never done horror, you clearly got a love for it, and he's clearly kind of got a talent for it as well. So let's see what he does with the horror film then.
Yeah, it was sort of reminiscent of American Werewolf in London, with the transformation scene, with like the snout sort of growing out and the ears growing with the hair on. It was really quite like that, which is great, because that's an excellent film, and
very metaphorical at that moment as well. It's like men are pigs, so there you go.
The way they're eating even before they're transformed. Yeah, it's so nuanced, isn't it? Great.
Yeah, it's just wow.
And then we moved on to where are we going after that? Is it the scene of Hades, right? Is it Hades? Is that his name? Is that actually who it was? I can't remember. It was like the.
I'm trying to think of it. Either
it's
that
the
or
dead
the
soldiers,
Sirens.
isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, yes, because the Sirens is the last destination kind of thing. So
yeah. Thinking there, it was a really cool sort of set piece, and it was interesting to know how they were going to actually portray that, because I think that's quite well known popular culture wise, and I was expecting that going in, and that was cool to see. I'd say my only disappointment from the set pieces is the one after that, where we focused on you either had the whirlpool or you had the sirens, which was good. I would have maybe liked to have seen a little bit more of that, but then we focused on the whirlpool, or is it Scylla, which is the like 6-head dragon sea monster and
serpent.
Since we'd seen the pigs transform and seen the Cyclops, I was kind of like, oh wow, what are we going to see for this? And we didn't really get anything. That was really the only moment I was a bit gutted.
I mean, for me, part of me wondered whether you've seen Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, right? Part of me wondered, are you going to try and do that?
Yeah.
And to be honest, you kind of did, because you do get sort of women sitting on rocks in the distance, and according to Matt Damon, they were like stunt women who were like able to be in that environment and kind of bring it to life. So when he did that, I was like, that's the only way Christopher Nolan would have done Sirens, is literally like women on a rock far off in the distance, surrounded by smoke. And then probably wondered, are you going to do like a more Pirates of the Caribbean moment? But that would have been CG. But with Scylla, I was like, it's even Nolan can only go so far before the special effects take over. And for me, I was like, that is, I mean, they were quite blurry. I mean, in the trailer, you see one of them being grabbed. I thought, okay, that's got potential. But then when it played out, I was like, that is a little bit on the blurry side and a little bit on the more kind of this is really like a quick set piece, and then let's move on kind of thing going on. But all the while still intense, still exhilarating. And so, yeah, there's certain things you can only do so much. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think to serve the story and like to see out that prediction that he had to follow, right? It's absolutely fine. Like, it does the job, and it, as you say, still tense for sure. I think just as a trio of lads who just want to see a big dragon kind of thing, like, we're going to be disappointed. Yeah, right? I wanted a little Godzilla, right?
Yeah.
Is that too much to ask? Yeah. Like, what's the one that's got like 3 heads in? Is it Godzilla, King of the Monsters?
Yeah, King Ghidorah,
that one's,
isn't it? Yeah, is it King
that's
Ghidorah?
What we want.
Yeah.
That's what I want. Times 2.
Or like in Disney's Hercules, when Hercules has got the serpent where he cuts the head off and more grow.
The arena battle.
Yeah, I just would have liked a little bit more. That's the only thing.
I think Nolan would have won this. I think had he gone just all out, people would have gone, you maybe splashed too much. But it is Greek mythology. It's kind of, these things are so, you've got to get them right. But what we got in the end, I was like, fair enough. But yeah.
Yeah, I dare say that's the only scene. Again, though, not bad, because I still was like excited by it. But if I had to pick a scene where I'm like, oh, I didn't. That's probably the weakest point in the film. Is that just very brief moment? But it's really
in the book. I should say in the book, Asher says at the start again. That part is like 2 pages worth, or maybe 1 page worth. So in the book, that really is gone like that, and I'm not surprised.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I mean, I was like, it really is. I mean, I said to my dad after I read the book, this scene should be extended in the film, because in the book it's like a few sentences long. So I said to my dad, it's be interesting to see how Nolan does that for the screen, because in the book it's really brief. And so, reflecting on that now, he's maybe done it justice. So yeah, one of them.
Yeah,
that's fair enough. Then I was expecting something that was never there to begin with. Then in that case, I just think he personally was probably torn. I mean, I know he wants to stay clear of CGI, but I think had he had his way, he probably wouldn't have included it at all. And I think, to be honest, maybe that would have been a good shout. I would have maybe rather it not been there than have this kind of weird rocky, like, it had no shape to it. It was like a rocky, and it moved so quick. I'm like, I can't even get a look at it in the corner. Like,
I didn't realise that. I presume what was picking them up was the 6 heads of the serpent, Whereas I've only just realised that they were like the mouths of it, so it was like a worm rather than like when you're picturing this creature, I'm picturing like a proper sort of snake head with
It reminded me
spikes
actually, and this kind of dawned on me there. It reminded me of the insect scene from King Kong.
Yeah.
And that it's like kind of. I mean, this King Kong looked better because obviously it's Peter Jackson, but that moment from King Kong not only was cold to mind, but I thought King Kong did that better. But that's Peter Jackson. Do not compete with Peter Jackson in anything. That's
creature features are his thing. Like
exactly. So don't even bother.
We are nitpicking as well. It might be worth mentioning some of the cast while we're here, because I want to mention, is it Himesh Patel, who played like his sort of, I don't know his name, there's so many names, but his sort of second in command sort of thing.
Is it Ulysses?
Yeah, I think so, something like that.
Oh, all the names, I tell you, that's the thing that got me about the book. I got so sick and tired of the names. It's like the name descriptions drew me up the wall. I think
it is Ulysses. Yeah. But I thought he was great. I've only ever seen him in quite small roles. He was in that stupid Beatles film, wasn't he? He's been in a lot of TV. I thought he was really good. And
really good.
Really,
no pressure, man.
Like really portrayed sort of. He obviously clearly trusts Matt Damon of Odysseus, but when he starts to doubt him and sews it in, and then the men sort of look at him for an answer rather than Odysseus at some points, and you see like just the move of the head and them noticing him and them looking to him for answers. It was really good. I thought he was great. I thought he was really good in this film. I mean, all the actors obviously are very good, other than maybe Tom Holland. I wasn't particularly keen. I think he's just, I don't know. I just can't get over I think he's too samey in every film he's in. But overall, actors in this, Nolan picks his cast, hand-picked clearly, aren't they, purely by him for specifically how good they are, and the whole cast is great. Like,
I mean, I'm still surprised. I mean, I thought she was good, but I am still surprised by everyone's rave to Samantha Morton. I mean, maybe I need to reflect on it more, but I mean, people have been like seeing Oscars and stuff. I mean, I can see it, I suppose. I mean, given the magnitude of the scene, what she needs to achieve and pull off, she really is a standout, and not a household name either. I mean, sort of, she's not been in blockbuster things, and she comes along and steals a Nolan film. That is spectacular.
Absolutely. I think I've only seen her in The Walking Dead. I think that's the only thing I've seen her in.
She's been in she was in Cosmopolis with Robert Pattinson, which is that was like it's a David Cronenberg film. That was a truly alienating film. That's the only real thing I've kind of seen her in. But she pulled off.
You mentioned this, Adam, that you weren't keen on Robert Pattinson's sort of goofiness, and you said to me last night. Explain that a bit more.
So I liked him up until a certain point. And I think it was up until the very end, which I'll try and tread lightly around, where he just starts yelling instructions at other people.
Use the spears.
Yeah.
Use the swords. Yeah. Use the shields.
Like, it was very Draco Malfoy, which I would normally like, but I think within this film felt a bit pantomiming, and I don't think that's his fault, because elsewhere in the film he's really smarmy and like just irritating, and I get that's the point, and I think he does it in a way that isn't irritating to watch, but the character is irritating, which is such an incredibly thin line to tread, and Robert Pattinson has that down to a T. But I do think there's just moments where I'm surprised that it got past Nolan, if that makes sense. I don't think it's his fault. I just think they could have gone with a different take where it's a bit less like, because you're having this really, again, I'll try and tread lightly, the climax of the film, which is incredibly mega, like the whole thing, it's huge in every sense of the scale, like set in a small location, but it feels massive, and the music's going for it. Ludwig Göransson, like just sending it, and then you've got him. Every now and then it'll cut like it's a comedy. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, and then it happens like 3 or 4 times, and I'm like, this is.
I mean,
weird.
I've thought this about Nolan since the Dark Knight days. He can't do choreography. I don't think he can do fight choreography. I mean, I mean, the final scene which we're on about is very, very loud. It's very shaky. There's a lot going on. And to be honest, in The Dark Knight Rises,
I was going to say Dark Knight Rises is abysmal. I
thought,
so bad.
and let's not forget the stuntman. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
With the rooftop fight when we first meet Bane. And again, in terms of things passing Nolan, a stuntman falls over when nothing hits him in The Dark Knight Rises, and that to me summed up the fact that something about action and camera work and fight choreography he's never been able to do. And in this moment, I thought, I mean, Odysseus is one man, and you're thinking he is kind of just, he can't do the scene really correctly. It's shaking the camera a lot. There's a lot going on, and it's trying to make you convinced that this man Odysseus can take on a whole room of people. And it's like, I'm not too sure about that, but yeah, some of the slight kind of concerns have been elevated a bit more.
That's a really bold take. I love that you've come out with that.
Yeah.
I think I agree. If you look back at his other films, he does spectacle really well.
Yeah.
And normally there's a lot of moving parts and action within that. Like, I'm thinking of the Inception hallway scene, like some of the most memorable action scenes in Hollywood.
Yeah.
But actually, you're right. If you look at the individual, like the time, if you look really closely, what the actual humans are doing, isn't that always that interesting?
No. I
mean,
mean,
he does veer away from that. So yeah,
he wanted to direct a Bond film as well, and I'm thinking, I would love to see that, and the whole world's demanding it basically. But you're gonna have to hire the best stunt guys and choreographers in the world to be able to do that, because I mean, he would do that anyway with any action film regardless. But part of me wonders, in terms of an all-out action set piece fighting choreography film, I don't know. In the past, I've not really seen that much there.
Yeah, is it his? I do wonder that. Is it his direction that means we get the shaky cam and stuff? Is it purely Nolan? Because it is a recurring theme, like you say, with the Dark Knight Rises is so shaky cam, and like Adam said, the spectacle of the final scene's phenomenal, and the emotional payoff is next level, and all the moving pieces are really, really great. But I just found it. Yeah, it's just shaky cam central, and it's a bit of a stereotype, isn't it? But yeah.
Can't win them all. But
it's also worth mentioning, like we said, about the whole IMAX debacle around this, the screen size in which you see it on, which screen it's made for. I saw it on. It's called a View Epic, which is just View's biggest screen, best sound, best picture quality. It is identical to iSense, having been there. So you saw it on Odeon's iSense, right, Adam?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Always a good time. I like it, but it's not got the height of an IMAX screen.
No, it's just a bit bigger screen, nicer sound and stuff. But Sam here, what format did you see it on?
I saw it in the big boy. I did see it in 70mm IMAX. I mean, when I kind of covered this for obviously Spark, I kind of made a pretty big point about this. Obviously, 41 cinemas in the world can only project it like that. 3 are in the UK, 2 London, 1 Manchester. So outside of London, there's just literally only one place in which you can go and see this, and that is what I did. And that really has kind of, I knew this would be a problem, because I saw the memes going around even before the film came out. It's like, if you're poor, you see less. That kind of gag that's going around right now. It's like you are literally going to get less. And so for me, the really tricky thing here is that first film not only to be shot with all IMAX cameras, I mean 70mm is the most difficult thing to do. So it's not only been shot all with IMAX, it's gone up a level further with 70mm IMAX. And the tricky thing here is that in order for cinema to advance, is it the question of some might have to just make do with what they've got at the moment, and then change can happen later on? Because, I mean, this is like, I think the most important thing to ever happen in IMAX history, this film, because of the debate it's caused and of the real kind of reflection. Because IMAX, people don't know what IMAX is, the general kind of audiences. So now the conversation has now begun in terms of what it will do for cinema. And I think this will be seen as an experiment, because this is the biggest thing to happen to IMAX. And it's never been in this conversation this much, and it's true. It's a very elitist angle. It's like pay more money, travel more to see this in a true proper format. And if you can't travel, if you don't have the money, you're gonna have to make do with that. And obviously, I mean, this is the case in which the format in which this is presented in is the most important part. And it's like, people. I mean, some people might not care. I mean, it's the fact that do people care enough to not bother? And that's true. Some people might just want to see the film, but in order to experience this as much as possible, you've got to get to one specific location, pay a certain amount of money, and if you can't do that, make do with the normal format. So yeah, this is real, kind of the real kicker now. And is Nolan going to be criticised for this? I don't know, because of all the things of an achievement it is. Has he just cut off a lot of people from seeing the film? And
it's hard to see the screenshots of what it looks like on IMAX and not have jealousy, not have wow, this looks insane. It is, because it looks, it's next level. The scale of it, it's a different film. I feel like. Not. Have you seen it on small screen, or have you only seen it the once on IMAX?
Oh, only the once on IMAX.
Right,
I've seen plenty of screenshots comparing the two. I mean, do I go and see it normal? I mean, any IMAX showing, any kind of normal digital, it's 191 is the aspect ratio. 1431 is the biggest you can get. So 191 is the kind of more normal one. But even then, they're all sold out.
Yeah.
Like the entirety of the normal ones are sold out. So for me, I'm now lucky in the fact that I've been to the biggest one possible. I can probably get to a normal one now.
Yeah, easily. So for sure.
I feel really, really fortunate and glad and lucky that I've been able to, because that's what I said in my review for Spark. I am coming at this from the best angle, but the most thankful and fortunate and appreciative one. So, yeah, in terms of forming an opinion, I'm really in a small, very, very lucky percentage of the fact that I can now judge this, having experienced it in the way Nolan intended, that kind of thing. I almost put that in my script for Spark, and I'm so glad I didn't, because I was like, had I said that, I'd be like, it's what everyone's saying. So
yeah, it sounds elitist. You're right.
It does.
Sounds.
That's what I had to say. I'm speaking from a very fortunate angle, so I had to demonstrate that in the video. So yeah.
No, I think it's going to come into question a lot for sure. I think we might see more start to pop up around the UK. I wouldn't be shocked if we get one in Liverpool. We get one maybe more towards us, down sort of
Birmingham. I think Birmingham,
west
Liverpool,
as well.
possibly,
like London. There's nothing else along the south coast, so I wouldn't be shocked if we get one maybe a bit closer to Southampton, or sort of on the way to Guildford, maybe something like that. But yeah, you do have a sense of missing out, and it's a shame.
I think Nolan's aware of that, isn't he? He's kind of like, I can see him behind the scenes, kind of not shrugging this off, but for him, it's a tough pill to swallow for him, because obviously the whole world loves his films, and he wants the world to see his films. I think in order to advance and to kind of bring about the future of IMAX, this might have to be a stepping stone in terms of kind of. I mean, the CEO of IMAX has said there's not been a 70mm built in the last 50 years. And suddenly he's come out and said about how the kind of the facilities just aren't there, and it's a whole industry thing that we just can't get into now. So it's a massive. It's a thing the industry has to reflect on, in order for this to avoid happening again. I mean, this will make enough money. It'll do incredibly well, but a bigger conversation needs to be had with this. And the last thing people want to be doing is being robbed of a Christopher Nolan film, because he does the biggest skeptical scale possible. So it's such a tricky situation.
Just to chime in on that, reason why it's obviously been so in discussion is because it's the first film to be exclusively shot entirely on IMAX. So whereas in other scenarios like The Dark Knight, it's the odd scene here or there that's been shot in that format. But with this, the whole thing, so every scene you're only seeing literally a portion of the film. Obviously, you're still seeing the same runtime, but for people that care about that, and it's going to be, admittedly, people that are into film already, who are going to, we're going to just, as we have, we're going to see it at all. We're not going to just miss it because we can't get screenings at the BFI. I mean, I looked today. I was like, oh, I had plans to go maybe August 2nd. I'm free that day, or August 1st. I looked, and it is absolutely every showing sold out until
September, isn't it?
Yeah, 10th of September, which is the Thursday, and that's how far the website is planning at the moment. I imagine they'll add a day each day passes, and it'll just go.
Crazy.
So it's insane. It's on one hand brilliant for cinema and the industry. I love it. On the other hand, it's kind of funny because all these posts are circulating and getting huge traction online, as you've said, Sam. But it's people that already like cinema that are going to feel hard done by. I don't honestly think the general public care that much. They might hop on the trend, but
I mean, my sister and her boyfriend live down kind of the coast where we are here, and that they live next to a really good independent cinema. And she texted me saying, we've booked into, it's called the Jam Jaw Cinema, and we've booked into that. And I texted her saying, why have you done? Why have you done this? Please do IMAX. And it's like, and she's like, oh, shut up, go away, and that kind of thing. And it's like
kind of valid, Sam, to be honest.
I can't. Yeah, so I can speak firsthand in terms of someone who just doesn't care. She FaceTimed me after they came out, and I've never seen her speechless ever. So, in the grand scheme of things, she loved the film. That's all that matters. So, I mean, I've never seen her more lost for words in my life. And even then, even when she still was lost for words, I said to them, go over and drive over to the next venue, which is the IMAX, and go in, please. And they still told me to shut up. So, there you go. Yeah.
This podcast is going to be the length of a Christopher Nolan movie. By the time we finished, we're going to briefly talk about our top 3 favourite Nolan films. This is not his best films. This is not his best rated or that kind of thing. This is our personal opinion on what our top 3 Christopher Nolan films are. Go on, Adam. Take it away. What's your third one?
Oh, I haven't ranked them.
You haven't ranked them?
No, I can't.
Right, okay, that's fair enough. Okay. Give us one of your 3 then.
Okay, Oppenheimer.
I've ranked them.
I can't. There's not enough hours in the day. I'll go mental. I've put Oppenheimer in there because it almost is. It kind of stands apart from Nolan films in that. I mean, obviously you have the explosion, but it's really almost not that. It's not that central to the film in a way. Excuse my dogs who are barking at the door. I just think it's interesting because it's actually a drama which he's not really done in years. So there's a lot to enjoy in it. I really love Oppenheimer. Swept the Oscars, won the box office that year.
Yeah, deservedly.
Barbenheimer is
one
of the most unforgettable things. So yeah.
Brought back cinema, didn't it? Along with Top Gun.
Yeah, it did.
Basically, yeah.
Go on, Sam. What's one of your top 3?
I'm going to go sort of the kind of his first impression on audiences. I'm going to go Memento. It showed the world who Nolan is, and it was obviously I've seen The Following and that kind of thing. I've seen Insomnia as well, but Memento was the beginning of Nolan. It is kind of, I think the production distribution of it is really interesting. I mean, studios didn't want it, or it's too complicated, or this, that, and the other. I mean, the trivia on this film is incredible, but this was Nolan's beginning as Nolan. This is what showed him what he's about to do to cinema and his kind of labyrinthine storytelling that no one had ever seen before. So, it's not an underrated gem of his because everyone loves Memento, but for me, it was the beginning of everything, to be honest.
It's fascinating to know that it was sort of hard to sell because of the convoluted nature of it, and now the studios beg for a Nolan film with a convoluted plot and an extended runtime. I have The Dark Knight. I think it is, along with Raimi and those Spider-Man films, Nolan has done it better, but it's something that's just taken a superhero film and sort of flipped on its head and made you go, wow, these can be something. And The Dark Knight especially, it's not even a Batman film, is it? It's an absolute sort of character study on Heath Ledger's Joker. It is obviously posthumous Oscar for him as well. Like, it is a film that I could watch it again and again and again. And I have watched it again and again, and I think it just did something so different with a topic and a subject that is so, especially now, drawn upon and constantly. Superhero films are everywhere, but I think you can go back to that and just know that it is something completely different, and it's the sets the tone right, and the subject matter. It just is it's a piece on its own. It may be the second film in a series of 3, but you can go in and watch The Dark Knight, and it is an absolutely amazing film that definitely brought Nolan to the masses. It is the one that put him on the map, I'd say, to the general public.
Yeah, I had The Dark Knight as well for very much the same reasons. Yeah, just I think one of the first films I think of when I hear the name Christopher Nolan. And yeah, the influence cannot be understated. I mean, cannot be overstated rather. Because well, there wouldn't have been Iron Man and there wouldn't have been an MCU without The Dark Knight and Batman Begins. So yeah, crazy how big that film was at the time, and it's lost no momentum in the years since. If anything, film bros might have piled in on it, but I mean, it's it's going to happen. It's a bloody good film.
Absolutely. Go on, Sam. What's another one of yours?
I am going to go Dark Knight as well. You just think of everything around it, and just in terms of its, I mean, no time in there. I mean, you're thinking of his obsession with. I mean, it is different Nolan, but even though it is different Nolan, it's still it's just an impactful thing. And even though it's not one of his more kind of time-themed films, even for a normal film, the fact that he still has an impact over anything normal, regardless of his obsession with his themes, shows his impact and his talent and his just immense kind of vision. So even though it's not related to his general obsession, it's still able to achieve so much, which speaks to him as a person. So, I mean, it's The Dark Knight. Everyone knows everything about it, and sort of one of the best, if not the best, performance in cinematic history as well.
I also have The Prestige. I'm quite a big fan of it. I don't know why it does it for me. It might be that David Bowie scene, which is the most perfect casting in any film ever. It's truly great. There's something about the magical trickery element of it that is just, I don't know, it's always stood out to me. I saw it a long time ago and then rewatched it fairly recently. No, one of those films where it isn't necessarily regarded as it is his best out of how many there are, but there's just those films that really stick in your head, and you're like, yeah, this is my one from this person, and that's what The Prestige does for me. I think it's an excellent Nolan film. Adam, have you got another one there?
Yeah, my final one of the 3. Again, not ranked, and I really those first 2 set in stone. This third slot, wherever that ranks, I don't know. I was kicking around with 3, and the one I went for at the end of the day was Interstellar, which is a film I think compared to a lot of people who breathe, live and die by this film, I'm actually not at that level, to be quite honest. I love it, but I'm not like, it's not a film I'd want to rewatch very often at all because it's just so heavy.
Yeah.
And it's really like the music is, you're just like, oh my god, it's almost a bit too much. And the other, just to name drop the other 2, I had Inception, which is a film I think people somehow under discuss, which I think is mental, because if any other filmmaker made that film, that would be their magnum opus. But the fact that you did Inception in like 2010, and people kind of, I almost feel like, from my perspective, people forget about that. Like, it's almost outshone by
it's his biggest
other stuff.
Best director probably as well. The fact that he didn't get a director nod is one of the greatest snubs and one of the biggest snubs in history, because the year Inception comes out, you don't nominate that guy for an Oscar. What are you thinking?
Yeah,
I think
crazy.
I think he got best pick nomination, but it should have got him anyway. So
yeah. So that's kicking around. I think if you ask me tomorrow, I'd probably have Inception there instead. The other one I thought is the Odyssey. The reason I haven't put it there is just because I literally watched it less than 24 hours ago. Yeah, so I'm like, well, I'm not going to commit to that. Yeah. But reason I went for Interstellar above Inception is just because it's been a long, long time since I watched Inception, and I don't remember getting choked up in the way that I think Interstellar is somehow his sort of biggest, most over the top, stupid scale. Like it's time, it's space, it's family, it's everything, and it's almost too much. But it's pinned by that insane sequence at the end where he's going through the whatever the heck he's going through, and it's somehow also incredibly emotional and just between two humans. And I don't think anyone else on earth could do a film of that magnitude and then be like, oh wait, it's these two people. Like it's insane how macro and micro it gets.
It's kind of it's Hans Zimmer's film though, because he wrote the music before they even did anything. So I think it's basically Nolan, but Hans Zimmer. I mean, that score has since come on to be the most reused thing ever. So it's insane.
Definitely. Do you have another one, Sam? Or have we all done?
Yeah, I mean, this will change by the time we finish recording, by the way. So I've got to say Inception, because what it did is prove that it's Nolan's awareness of blockbuster cinema. It's like, I mean, it demonstrated the power he has in the industry, because he was allowed to do Inception because of what he did with the Batman. And it demonstrated the fact that blockbusters can be not just popcorn entertainment. They can be the winner of 4 Oscars. They can be intellectual. And it went on to change blockbuster cinema for me. It's one of the films that went on to change what we perceive to be blockbuster cinema. The fact that it can be intelligent, it can be all these things. And the fact that it was as successful as it was, people showed up, people went to see it even though it was so complicated. The fact that Nolan achieved that, a film that's that complicated, that in-depth, that labyrinthine, the fact that it made as much money as it did and was like swept the Oscars almost, just shows the influence, again, the influence and impact this man has. And so it's just, words can't be said enough about it in that kind of thing. So just monumental.
Well, I think with those top 3, I think it's safe to say that the Oscars are coming up next year.
It's going to be a tight one, mine. I think it's June versus Odyssey.
June doesn't tend to fare well at the Oscars, though, does it?
That's true.
I think this is going to... I do think this will sweep it, but I guess we'll see.
What was your third, Alf?
I did not even
Prestige.
say. Prestige. Dark Knight. Oh, sorry, Oppenheimer, but you said it at the beginning, and I didn't really mention that.
So there we go. I mean, we're trying to come up with the top 3, and between us all, we've come up with 6. So half his filmography, and even then, I name dropped the Odyssey.
Yeah, me too.
And
Dunkirk as well.
Yeah.
People love Dunkirk. I'm so overdue a rewatch, because I watched it. I was like, I'm almost ashamed to say I wasn't blown away by it.
Yeah.
But people clearly have found something in it that's profound. So I need to check myself before I wreck myself.
There you go.
Right, let's end with a game. I'm going to fly through this. It's you two versus one another. Whoever wins gets to be in the next Nolan film. So what I've got here is 8 letterbox reviews of Christopher Nolan films. It's an absolute classic. I love this game. I'm going to read them out. I'm not going to give you any clues, and you've got to tell me which film is this reviewing. Okay, review number 1. How is Joseph Gordon-Levitt? Is he okay? Where is he? Is he being taken care of? Is he safe? Will he ever work again? What is he doing? Is his career over? Oh, how I wish my husband would return from war. Oh, you both need buzzer noises, so come out the buzzer noise and then buzz in first.
Beep.
Sam?
Panic there. Give me no description. That doesn't sound to me like the answer I was going to go for. I'm going to go Inception.
I would say Dark Knight Rises, right?
You'd be unfortunately spot on with Inception.
Oh, is
that is 1 point. That is 1 point to Sam.
That really could be Dark Knight Rises as well, because he just turns up, gets revealed to be Robin, and then nopes the fuck out.
Oh god, I forgot that. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I forgot you did that.
Crazy. Okay, next one. Hits even harder when you're also in a long-distance relationship.
Beep.
Sam?
That's got to be Interstellar. What else can that possibly be?
I'm afraid you're wrong. The point goes to Alfie if he can get this.
If I can get it.
I'll repeat it.
Yeah, go on.
Hits even harder when you're also in a long-distance relationship.
I actually don't know.
Think carefully.
Yeah.
I've picked difficult, annoying ones.
I'm trying to think of the pun or something. That's what I'm trying to work out in my head. What's the play on words?
There's no pun in it. This one's pretty straightforward, I think. Long distance relationship. Which films feature that? Is Tenet your final answer?
Yes, Tenet's my final answer. Notice how none of us mentioned that on our top 3.
Yeah. Weird.
Yeah.
No, that is unfortunately wrong, Alf. That was the Odyssey.
Oh, of course.
Literally the knowledge.
I knew that would cut you out. Okay. Next one. I almost said the title. I was just going to say... Right. First 30 minutes. Wow, this guy's really good at his job. 30 minutes in. Oh, never mind.
Beep.
Sam?
That sounds like tennis.
No. It goes to Alfie.
I'm being too quick with these, honestly.
Piss poor job here.
First 30 minutes. Wow, this guy's really good at his job. 30 minutes in. Ah, never mind.
I'm trying to think of what happens at a 30-minute mark in a film that goes, fuck. I don't know. Insomnia.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
I was going to say Prestige again.
Nice. Okay, you've won the point. That kind of just goes with any of the films, really.
Yeah.
Okay. Review number... Sorry.
4.
Yeah. We go with that. Okay, it's a short one. A lot of homoerotic tension in this.
No, I can't say that.
Yeah, beep.
You need a different buzz, mate.
Oh, don't you? Meep. How about meep?
Yeah,
meep,
good.
meep. Meep, meep.
Beep, beep, beep.
Meep,
Alfie?
meep. Is it The Prestige?
No, great guess, but no. Sam, can you steal the point?
Given 2 male actors side by side, Tenet again.
No, it was The Dark Knight, Batman and Joker.
Oh,
I thought it was going to be that as a piss take. Yeah, classic. Where is she?
Right, review number 5. Wow, my favourite part was incomprehensible British mumbling.
Meep, meep, Dunkirk.
Yes, spot on.
I don't remember the audio being too bad in that, to be honest, but...
Yeah, I would have thought, well, any of the other films.
Tenet. Oh, then again, Tenet, though. Brander's got a Russian accent, so it's not him, so...
Yeah.
I struggled with the first sort of 20 minutes of the Odyssey a lot. I don't know if I just got used to it, but I was struggling to understand their dialogue really at the beginning.
Well, I thought the dialogue was crap anyway, so... Yeah. In terms of... That's another thing I should have brought up. It's just like...
That's quite a big thing to miss out, so.
Yeah,
I was going to say this.
Do you not like the film?
Anyway.
Right, next review. Dads are great. I wish they were real.
Try not to go for the most obvious answers here, so...
Oh, yeah, Meet Me, Interstellar, right?
Yeah, Alpha, spot on.
Yeah, that's gotta be, yeah.
I've sort of purposefully gone for ones that are like not the obvious answer, but still work. Okay, we've got 2 more. At the moment, Alfie, you've got 3 points. Sam, you've got 1.
Oh.
But it's not too late. You can still draw here. Okay. Thank you, Christopher Nolan, for making me look like Boo Boo the Fool once again.
That literally could be any one of his films. Beep. Inception. Enough said.
No, I'm afraid not. I'm afraid
No.
not.
Is it Tenet?
No,
Oh, go on.
you've both gone too quick there. It is The Prestige.
God.
I reckon I can understand the Prestige more than Inception, to be honest.
Yeah, literally. I've really sucked the life out of this podcast. You guys look suicidal. Final review, don't worry. I'm like Christopher Nolan in that I want Cillian Murphy all up in my stuff. Okay, I added in the all up bit. But
So is this Murphy thirst trapping the most?
Yeah, I mean he's always thirst trapping, but
He
this is yeah, there's real sexual undertones to this review.
Well, I mean, it's
key word there though.
yeah, it's got to be. Well, what is it? He's in Oppenheimer, or is it when he's Scarecrow in Batman? I'm gonna go Scarecrow.
Well, there you go.
Can I get a buzzer?
Oh, a meep meep. I'm gonna go. The Batman Begins when he's the Scarecrow.
That is correct.
Is it?
Oh,
Yes.
He is great in that Batman Begins film.
Yeah.
underrated.
I think Ra's al
Yeah.
Ghul, not great.
Yeah. Him as
Scarecrow,
Scarecrow.
very good.
Excellent. Yeah, absolutely.
Also, there's some brilliant scenes in Batman Begins, like when he has like snake coming out his mouth, or when people look at him, he's like a demon Batman. Like, there's some really
Yeah,
cool
they're quite
moments.
scary. I remember
Scary,
it
but
scaring
well
me.
done, man.
Yeah.
And I mean, for all the sort of hate that The Dark Knight Rises get, it does have one of my favourite sequences in a Nolan film, which is right at the start when Bane's crashing the plane.
Yeah.
That is so cool. And Tom Hardy doing that silly voice. And the bit I always quote my brother, because we watched that, it's like probably our most watched YouTube film scene ever, is whenever he's like, what's the next part of your genius plan? And he goes, crushing this plane. I just love it. It's so cool. Right. On that note, we've made it to the end of our Odyssey. Listeners, if you're still with us,
Congratulations. Well done.
go outside, have a glass of water.
Touch grass.
Yeah, get off the screen.
I've got a raging headache now as well.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really warm.
Let's wrap it up.
Please email in and let us know your opinion on the Odyssey. You can do that. It's hello@movieonup.com.
You can head to our Instagram and TikTok as well. Drop us a DM there. Our handles for both those platforms are @MovieOnUp.
And then Sam, where can they find you?
Well, you can find me on Spark Sunderland's Instagram, where I am the film critic every week. Lights, camera, action, Spark Sunderland. And my Instagram handle, I've literally forgotten the name of what I'm called on there. I'm samclark.02, I think, on there. But yeah, my work is found on Spark Sunderland's Instagram across that page. So check it out. And it's also Saturdays, 11 a.m. till 12 p.m. film reviews, lights, camera, action on there as well. So.
Nice one. Thank you for coming on. It's been a good chat. It's been nice to
Thank
have
you very
someone
much.
who's actually read the source material and consumed it how it should have been seen in IMAX. So
Hey.
added a nice dynamic to the
Double barrel.
pod.
It's too late to do this now, and I can't be bothered. But I realised in that whole Odyssey chat, we not once even referred to the horse or the Battle of Troy. And a bit like the film, we'll return to it right at the very end. But I cannot be bothered. So it's great.
Yeah,
Thanks for listening.
Practical, absolute cinema. So
Brilliant stuff.
Yeah.
Brilliant stuff, Nolan. Please cast us all in the next one.
The Marty,
Whatever that is.
Marty Scorsese meme where he's just like, absolute cinema.
Everyone freeze, and I'll put Absolute Cinema as a text.
Perfect.